They're in a pennant race, and they almost lost their leadoff hitter and emotional leader, D. Gordon, who twisted his ankle over the bag in the 9th inning yesterday. Good sign that he is back in there today at his familiar second base.
He came out early and did a lot of running drills and satisfied the training staff that he was fit and able to start this game. And you can see he was determined to get back in this lineup tonight.
He was doing some karaoke. He's running backwards. He was running sideways. His legs are the way to get to the big leagues.
So Gonzalez delivers the first pitch strike, and we are underway. It is 23 degrees, and it is a supercharged atmosphere. Randall Grichuk hit second in the lineup last night. He's moved to the leadoff spot against the lefty Gonzalez.
Blue Jays haven't fared very well this year against left-handed starters, so John Gibbons is going to mix it up a bit offensively. He's got all right-handed hitters in there.
Grichuk jumps on that inside pitch and hits it into the seats. The Blue Jays against lefty starters have gone 12 and 26. They have not had much luck against lefties. 1-2. Grichuk hits it on the ground, and that's a fair ball. Going to be extra bases for Grichuk. He just poked it down the right field line and ends up at second with a leadoff double. That's 18 straight games for the Blue Jays when they have hit a double.
Sometimes they catch line drives that look like they're heading for doubles, and sometimes you hit it off the end of the bat and you cross up the defense. That's exactly what happened there for Randall Grichuk. Gonzalez turns the ball over, and he's able to hit it off the end of the bat and somehow keep it fair between Ryan Healy, the first baseman, and the line, and he hustles his way into second.
Blue Jays had 4 doubles in the game last night. Devin Travis batting second. I asked Travis, what do you do to get prepared to face a pitcher you've not faced before? He said, I went back and asked the video guys, I want to see all the hits against Gonzalez since July 1st. That's when he's really been on a roll. There's a base hit. Grichuk's going to come around to score. Devin Travis. He got some good information from that video and delivers the first run of this ball game.
His timing has been much better at the plate. He was telling me today he was so happy that that ball last night got under the glove of Seager for a 2-run single, and those types of hits can really get you going. This is classic right here. Hit on top of that high fastball, drill it past the diving Segura for the game's first run.
Devin drove in 2 with a second inning single last night. Off to a good start tonight. 2 hits for the Jays, and they're on the board. Here's Justin Smoak. Smoak goes after the first pitch, and Travis is going to get to second. Now Smokey bounces one to the second baseman Gordon, and Travis moves up on the out. So now Kendrys Morales will step in. Kendrys hit a 2-run home run last night in the 7th inning. Well, Morales, home run number 13.
257. He's got that batting average up to, and those 13 home runs. I think it was just a matter of time before he was going to get it to going.
No, he had talked about it a bit last night. He tried to wear glasses early in the season, and things didn't go well. They took them off, and you could see over his last 11 games, he's hitting nearly 360. When you can hit, sooner or later, things are going to turn around for you.
Yeah, glasses or no glasses. He also said, I can see the ball a lot better with the glasses, meaning I can see the rotation, but my mind just couldn't pick the ball up. I just didn't feel comfortable with them on. He said, what I should have done, and I'll probably do that this winter, is wear them all winter long and play baseball in the winter with them on. And then next year, you'll see him wearing those glasses, I'm sure.
0-2 to Morales. Gonzalez checking in on Devin Travis. Gonzalez is 9-2 since May 17th. He has really pitched well for this Mariners ball club. You can hear the Blue Jay fans whipping it up already. Let's go Blue Jays in the first inning.
Feels like a college atmosphere, doesn't it, here? When they're getting fired up. I mean, it is a sea of blue. Look at behind Gonzalez. A sea of blue down the left field line and up in the upper grandstands here, everywhere.
Morales strikes out. Pitch off the plate away. He chased it. 2 away now.
Gonzalez has a couple of different ways to get you out. He'll throw that cutter in to right-handers, and I think pitching in is important for him because it will open up the ball away. That time he turned the fastball over and picked up his first strikeout.
Now here's Teoscar Hernandez. He was 4 for 5 in the game last night. His second 4-hit game of the season. Had a 4-hit game in April against Kansas City at Rogers Center. But last night, for the first time in his career, he had 3 doubles in a game.
Using the whole field. Also, he gets in trouble when he thinks about pulling too much. Teams trying to bust him in. He starts to open up just a little bit. Seattle doesn't know that much about him.
It was interesting. We were talking with Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, and he brought up Hernandez's name. He said, we tried some things we thought would work against him last night, and they didn't. So you can bet they're going to try a few different things tonight.
Yeah, he said it was back to the drawing board. He says this guy's got some pop. We didn't know he had that type of exit velocity off the bat.
Hernandez asked for time as Gonzalez took too much time for him. The Blue Jays with a run here in the first. Grichuk hit an opposite field double, and Devin Travis cashed him in with an RBI single. He went around. 1-2 now. So John Gibbons went into the hat, pulled out 2 good names at top of the order. Grichuk and Devin Travis has given him a 1-0 lead.
They haven't had a lot of success this year so far against lefties, so let's change it up.
Hernandez strikes out. Gonzalez minimizes the damage. Blue Jays score a run on 2 hits. Ryan Borucki will make his 7th start of the season. First time ever pitching here in Seattle. Terrific job with this ball club. He's in his 3rd season as the manager of the Mariners. We'll take a look at his lineup tonight. Trying to turn things around. They've hit a rough patch, 63 and 46. D. Gordon is back in the top of the order. He's hit well over his last 12 games, and he is certainly an igniter early in the ballgame. He has 33 first-inning hits. And down in the cleanup spot, Blue Jays know all about Nelson Cruz. Hit a pair of home runs last night He has the third most home runs against the Blue Jays among active players. He's got 24 home runs in 88 games.
What a run producer. That's the lineup that Ryan Borucki will face for his 7th Major League start. In Seattle, taking a look at Borucki for the first time. Good numbers. Hasn't cracked the win column yet, but look at the earned run average. It's under 3 innings pitched. Hits to innings pitched, all of that good stuff. Last time out against the White Sox, he pitched well enough to win. Just 2 earned runs in 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, and just 1 walk. I'm very impressed with the way he has handled himself in his early on in his Major League career.
Yeah, he is very confident. He is very composed and poised. D. Gordon takes the first pitch, strike. One thing the Mariners know about Borucki, even though they haven't faced him, he'll throw you a lot of strikes.
He'll work quickly. Just keep pounding that fastball in there. Keep pounding those strikes in there, and D. Gordon wants to take a look at him.
Going too quickly for Borucki. Breaking ball. He just flips at it and fouls it off. We mentioned Gordon with 33 first inning hits. He had a leadoff single in the game last night and came around to score.
This is the best team in the major leagues, or excuse me, in the American League at scoring early in a ball game.
You better hurry up. He makes it interesting. D. Gordon is out as Smoke got to the bag. Borucki wasn't going to get there. Gordon was going to beat Borucki to the bag.
Yeah, even with a bad ankle, D. Gordon can still run. It's a slider down and away, and he just checks his swing. And the only play to be able to make the play at first base was Justin Smoke. He was the only one who was going to get over. You see Borucki in a foot race with D. Gordon, and D's going to win that.
Here's Gene Segura. Segura has really had a rough stretch lately. He's 0 for his last 10. And he's hit just .225 in his last 23 games. He's an all-star, made the second all-star team of his career, and for the season he's still batting .311.
Yeah, great on-base percentage, .341. Got some power if you make a mistake.
Borucki falls behind 3-0. There's a strike. The Mariners find themselves out of the playoff picture tonight for the first time since May 18th. They have gone just 8-15 in the last 23 games. There's a drive to left field, but that's going to hang up for Teoscar Hernandez. 2 away. Take a look at the Blue Jays defensively. Hernandez is in left, and boy, is it good to see Kevin Pilar back in center.
How about that? 3 weeks tomorrow, he got hurt. 3 weeks ago tomorrow, was hurt in that dive in Boston. Pilar, a quick healer, got right back out there. He was talking about how the All-Star break was really good for him, that he just, unwind for 4 days, and that really seemed to help his shoulder. Took some swings yesterday, good speed and game speed. Took balls off the bat. I asked him today about throwing. He said, my arm feels fine.
Kevin Pilar injured himself on a diving catch in Boston on the 14th of July. This is Mitch Haniger hitting third against the lefty. Ball on a strike to Haniger. Haniger last night 2 for 3 with a walk, had a couple of singles. As a Martin holding that pitch for the home plate umpire, Mike Malinsky. When you have a young pitcher and you've got an umpire that hasn't seen him before, the catcher can really do a lot of good work back there.
Tell him to stay with me here. Hey, his ball's really moving off the plate. He's got great command. So don't call it and think about it too quickly. Stay with me.
3-1. They want the changeup. Good pitch. Popped up off the end of the bat. Smoke. The first baseman calls for it. Nice start to the ball game for Ryan Borucki. 14 pitches. He retires the side in order. been throwing the ball well. The Blue Jays scored a run on 2 hits in the first inning, but when you look over his last 5 starts, he's been pretty darn good. Just a 198 opponent's batting average.
Yeah, and a 5-0 record in that part of the schedule at Los Angeles, Chicago, LA 3 times. He's beaten them 3 times in the last 4. They cleaned up his curveball a little bit this year. They added a cutter. His cutter's been very good and into righties, and then he can just throw that changeup down and away. He'll also backdoor those right-handers with that cutter too. So he's really come into his own this year.
Jumps ahead of Russell Martin, who has had a good road trip. Martin is 6 for 12 on this road trip with 4 extra base hits, 2 doubles and 2 homers. There's a slider for strike 2. Russ did not play in the game last night. The starter was Felix Hernandez, and Russell was just 3 for 25 for his career against Hernandez.
He's been swinging the bat a lot better. A lot of balls that he's been staying on and hitting the left field.
Gonzalez strikes out Martin looking. It's 3 strikeouts in a row for Gonzalez.
That was the backdoor cutter I was talking about, that he will throw to right-handed batters. You can't give up on it. See how it cuts right at the end? Another thing that Mel Stottlemyre Jr. was telling us before the game is, he asked us, said, did you think he was going to be this good? He said he saw him for a little bit last year after they traded for him. He liked what he saw, but they improved his curveball just a little bit and forced that cutter on him. I tell you, he has just been masterful this year.
Lemus Diaz is behind 0-2. Last season, after the trade went down July 21st with the Cardinals. Gonzalez made 10 appearances. 7 of those were starts, so they had a good look at him last year. As Pat mentioned, Gonzalez was acquired in a trade with the St. Louis Cardinals for the Canadian Tyler O'Neill. O'Neill's probably got a lot of friends in the crowd here. He's from Maple Ridge, BC. Just called up with the Cardinals. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury, but he's back in the big leagues. That's a broken bat grounder to short. Segura. 2 away.
But they didn't expect him to do what he's doing now. He's just coming into his own. He'll throw the fastball 34% of the time, and it's only 90 miles an hour. He's got a little bit of a sink to it, a little bit of a tail. There's the changeup. I think that's an important pitch to him when he's got that cutter and fastball working into the right-hander. Told you the Blue Jays are loaded with right-handed batters today, so he's going to have to throw that cutter in and then really sink that ball away.
Here's Brandon Drury. Drury played shortstop last night, started at shortstop, moved over late in the game to play third. He is back at third tonight. Drury was 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout in the game last night. You can see Gonzalez, despite the fact he gave up a double and a single and a run in the first, he comes right at you. Pitching with a lot of confidence right now.
A lot of confidence, working quickly. He's not messing around on the mound, just getting it and he's going.
That cutter is very effective, and he'll throw it to both sides of the plate.
He has one of the highest cutter percentage on the arm side. That means the outside part of the plate to righties in July.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Top of the second inning on a beautiful night in Seattle. A much bigger crowd tonight than there was last night. There were 26,000 here last night. It appears to be a better crowd than that tonight. Called strike 3. Gonzalez has struck out 4 of the last 5 Blue Jays he's faced. We'll go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Jays.
circled this Seattle series as a possible return from that collarbone injury he suffered in Boston 3 weeks earlier than expected. According to Pilar, while he loves playing at Safeco, he also wanted to make sure he was rehabbing the right way, not rushing back for the sake of getting into ball games. However, things were progressing quicker than anticipated, and he said he passed all the tests required. Pilar suggesting maybe it's genetics, or he said, smiling, maybe I really am Superman. He was asked why he didn't play in a rehab game before returning. Pilar said for him, facing live BP the last few days where he felt he was hitting the ball with some pretty good velocity was enough for him to tell him he was good to go. There's nothing like being in a big league game, he said, to give you a better indication of where you're at. Pilar admitting he's not totally pain-free, Buck, but there is no hesitation or limitation now that he's back.
It's certainly good to have him back. That was a terrific play he made. He took a hit away from Brock Holt and turned it into a double play.
Whole key was there were no setbacks when he was trying to get better. No setbacks, so he can continue to get better. And here he is in the lineup.
Ryan Borucki getting his first look at Nelson Cruz. Cruz with 2 homers in the game last night. He had an 0-2 pitch for a home run off Tyler Clippard in the first, and then hit a first pitch home run to right field off Joe Biagini in the 8th. 24 career home runs against the Blue Jays. That's the 3rd most among active players against the Jays. But it's really interesting in that he's done it in 88 games. Chris Davis of the Orioles has hit 39. He leads. He jammed it. Diaz from short. Good throw. One away.
He's got a sneaky fastball, does Ryan Borucki, and if you're not familiar with it, he can get it in there to the right-handers. Nelson Cruz hits from an open stance and likes to stride into the ball, and here comes that fastball right in on his hands, and he just can't extend or catch it out in front.
Ryan Borucki doesn't throw a 4-seam fastball, but he can elevate the 2-seam fastball and use it effectively as he did to Cruz. He's going to eventually develop a 4-seam fastball. Kyle Seager rips that first pitch down into the right field corner. He'll jog into second with a 1-out double, his 25th double of the season.
The Mariners have a whole bunch of hitters this year who have really hit well against left-handed pitching. This is one of them, Kyle Seager. He's got 30 RBIs against lefties, second most in the major leagues, and he's not wasting any time. He sees that first fastball he gets from Borucki and rifles it into the corner.
Only Nolan Arenado of the Rockies has driven in more runs against the lefties than Kyle Seager. But fortunately, he didn't have anybody on base. He had a 1-out double. Here's Ryan Healy. Healy's the big first baseman. And Borucki, as we have seen so often, comes right back with a first pitch strike.
You know, we talked about that in the opening, about one of the things you have to be impressed with is he looks like he's been in the big leagues 5 years. He gives up a hit, no problem. I'm just going to come in there and do my thing. He looks under control and poised.
Right there's another example of it. Devin Travis broke in behind Seager at second, and he wanted the baseball, but Borucki looked at him and he wasn't ready to make a pickoff move, so he just stepped off the rubber calmly and reset. Off the end of the bat, Travis from second goes to first. Healy's retired on the play. Seager goes over to third.
You know, we watched Jay Happ for years pitch for the Toronto Blue Jays, and we kept commenting about his fastball, how it's sneaky and how it can get on hitters. I think you're seeing the same thing from Ryan Borucki. He's got that type of fastball. For some reason, hitters early in his career, they just aren't picking it up.
And he doesn't get rattled with runners in scoring position as he's got right now with Seager at third. This is Mike Zunino, the catcher. Looked like a pretty good pitch there. Zunino hitting just over 200, but he's got some pop. 13 home runs. Hits that one off the end of the bat. Randall Grichuk's going to get there, and Borucki continues to strand base runners in scoring position. A one-out double.
Log in to My Blue Jays and enter the code MBJ5372 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching tonight's broadcast. Your entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. Don't forget, the code must be entered by 4 a.m. Buck.
What a great atmosphere it is here in Seattle at Safeco Field. Blue Jay fans, they're excited to come and see their ball club. Doesn't make any difference what the record is. They are absolutely excited, and now they're standing on their feet to acknowledge the return of Kevin Pilar. How about that? Kevin Pilar was announced as the leadoff hitter here in the third, and they all gave him a nice round of applause to welcome him back.
Started to see some standing ovations for him. That's what he has meant to these fans in Canada.
Pilar's batting ninth. Not a bad spot to get him back into the lineup. Just get him out of the spotlight and let him get acclimated once again. Pulls the ball on the ground past Seager off the glove of Segura. Jay Segura kind of nonchalantted that ball. Once it got past Seager, he just kind of swiped at it, and that should be his 14th error of the season.
It's a Seattle team that has only committed 58 errors, about in the middle of the pack of the American League. Ground ball gets by Seager, but Segura just whiffed on it. I mean, that ball did not bounce. Here it is. Here comes the catch, and he just misses it.
It is indeed his 14th error of the season. And that allows the leadoff man to reach. Randall Grichuk. He hit a double down the right field line his first time up. Gonzalez is tough to run on. He's only given up 2 stolen bases this season. Alex Bregman and Rougned Odor, the only base stealers that have been successful against him.
And if he gets guys on, he has the tendency to throw a ground ball, doesn't he?
18 ground balls, double plays turned behind Gonzalez. This is a chopper. Seager bare hands, and it's late at first. That should be an infield hit. A do-or-die play for the third baseman, and he can't make it.
At least the last 2 nights, the infield haven't been able to make the play for the Seattle Mariners. A leadoff error. They had a couple of errors in last night's game, or missed plays. This one, another chopper by Grichuk, and he's going to beat it out even with a good throw from Seager. But the inner defense so far in the first 2 games have not been very good.
Not at all. They committed a couple errors last night. Seager and Andy Gordon both charged with fielding errors. Devin Travis, an RBI single. His first at bat goes after that pitch. Fouls it off. Seager in his defense, has been away for 3 days. He was on paternity leave. Last night was his first game back, and he looked a little rusty.
He's an excellent fielder. You mentioned he was a Gold Glove winner, but last night missed a couple of balls. There was a couple of balls that went under his glove. That went into the outfield. He normally catches.
You know, it's really interesting, and we see this all the time. Of course, we're here about 3 o'clock every day, and Mariners didn't take any BP. They didn't take any ground balls. You didn't see them on the field, and sometimes that'll come back and bite you, as it has here in this 3rd inning.
Maybe they're starting to feel the pressure a little bit of the Oakland A's, who've actually passed them.
Travis shoots it into the seats. As we mentioned earlier, Seattle is not in a playoff position tonight for the first time since May 18th. At one point, they have an 11-game advantage over Oakland, but that has evaporated. Now Oakland's ahead of Seattle.
That is for the 2nd wild card spot in the American League. Well, maybe they're feeling a little bit of a pressure of a pennant race.
Travis strikes out. Boy, that was a good pitch right inside. You could see he had worked him away, and then finishes off the at-bat, coming up and in with that cutter.
It's a good one. He's got a lot of movement, a lot of break to it. He'll normally go away with it, but this time he's going to come up and into Devin, and it ties him up. Just can't finish his swing or make contacts.
They set up that pitch perfectly. Away, 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 and then they got him in. One out for Justin Smoke. I asked Smoke the same question I asked Travis. What do you do facing a guy for the first time? He said, I don't like it. He said, I'm an experienced hitter. I like to have some previous at-bats against a guy. It's going to take me 2 or 3 at-bats to get comfortable. Smokey said, I can look at all the video I want, but it's totally different until you get in the batter's box. You got to find the release point. You got to see the break, see what kind of sinker ball he has, what kind of cutter.
Get some kind of history of what he's going to do in certain situations. Boy, that thing can tie up righties, can't it? That ball inside. It's another one of the improvements that they've made with him, to use that ball inside, and it opens everything up away.
Oh, 0-2 to Smoke. Went right back inside. When you can command multiple pitches on both sides of the plate, you can dominate hitters, and that's what Gonzalez has done.
And we saw that scouting report from him. You don't have to throw close to 100. You just have to make pitches, put it in a good spot. One thing that Marco Gonzalez has going for him, he's an excellent athlete. He can repeat his delivery, and he can do things with the baseball that athletes can do. Make those changes. Athletes, but can control their body. He can control his body and make those pitches do what he needs them to do.
Mariners have won each of Gonzalez's last 6 starts here at Safeco Field. Smoke pulled out on strikes. He didn't like the call. He felt like it was upstairs. Having a chat with Mike Malinsky, the home plate umpire. But another strikeout for Gonzalez. That's 6 already tonight.
3 of them on these backdoor cutters. It's got a lot of movement. You can't give up on it. I think Justin thought that ball was up and possibly away, but mostly up.
It's a great example of what we were talking about, commanding both sides of the plate. Kendrys Morales. He struck out on a pitch off the plate away. It looked like a changeup. Just off the plate, a ball on a strike. Kevin Pilar reached on an error, and then right behind him, Randall Grichuk had an infield single. But Travis had struck out. Smokes called out on the strikes, and now there are 2 outs. Bouncing ball. D. Gordon, the second baseman, has plenty of time. Well, the Blue Jays waste an opportunity. An error and a base hit. They leave a pair. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Jays have a 1-0 lead.
Of Blue Jays TV broadcasts in a third language. Omni presents Blue Jays at Mariners in Tagalog. It's the Blue Jays Pinoy edition, Sunday at 4 p.m. only on Omni.
A very interesting fan base for sure. And now we have a third language that Blue Jay fans can watch and listen to. And this has been a terrific weekend so far. And you can bet there are more fans on their way for Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon. Brandon Drury dropped the ball. Drury made the play. Cameron Maben hit one to the backhand side. Drury got it, but then when he went to get it out of his glove, he just flat out dropped it. I mean, error on the third baseman.
Yeah, if he catches it cleanly, he's going to get him out. It's in the glove. There it is, and there's the drop. And that's why he's going to be charged with his 4th error. Just something that basic when you've got a guy who can run like Cameron Maben. That's all it takes.
First error as a Blue Jay, 4th of the season. Guillermo Heredia. It's a start in left field. Heredia has played a lot of center field this season. He is in left tonight against Borucki, the lefty. Heredia made 56 starts in center. This is his 13th start in left field.
Fabulous defender. Fabulous defender. And they'd love to give him in the lineup just a little bit more, but he's had struggle offensively. He's only driven in 14 runs all season long. He's hitting just 230.
Heredia is from Cuba. He's 27 years old in his 3rd season with the Mariners. Line drive to Pilar. Just a couple of steps to his left. He makes the catch. What a wave. Well, I'm from Canada, you know. How many people have told you that today? That's awesome. They are proud Canadians, and they have turned out here in Seattle, and they're having a good time. We see them all over town. They're down at the Pikes Creek Market. They're enjoying themselves, and the weather has been spectacular.
Not just from Canada. Where in Canada?
Oh, yeah.
I heard of Moose Jaw the other day. Met a couple from Moose Jaw.
D. Gordon takes the first pitch strike. Gordon grounded out in the 1st inning. I've met a few fans that have made their way all the way from Toronto. They've come out for the atmosphere, and they great weather and a 4-day trip to Seattle. Gordon takes strike, and it's a foul tip off his bat. So he's behind quickly 0-2.
They get here right when they open the gates, and the Blue Jays are down on the field stretching. It's right before batting practice, and you hear this horn go off, and all of a sudden people are sprinting to get down to watch the Jays take BP.
Ground ball to short. Diaz to second for one. Travis, a nice turn. Oh, what a good double play. Tough to double up D. Gordon. Diaz to Travis to smoke. That ends the inning. Just 6 pitches for Borucki. 3 in the books here in Seattle. McKellar also pitched in that game. He was recently acquired by the Pirates. He picked up a hold with an inning of work. Felipe Vasquez with his 25th save, and the Pirates win Chris Archer's first start internationally. Teoscar Hernandez will lead things off for the Blue Jays. He swings and misses at the first pitch. 1-0 Blue Jays. They scored an early run. Vander Grichuk led off with a double, and he was knocked in by Devin Travis, the second hitter of the game.
And then Marco Gonzalez has tightened things up. Blue Jays had an infield hit by Grichuk, and that has been it basically since the first 2 batters.
That was a sneaky fastball there as Hernandez was late on it. 1-2 now.
Looks like they're going away again. There's that cutter.
Boy, that's a late breaking cutter there for another strikeout. 7 strikeouts already for Gonzalez.
The 2018 Honda CR-V, where style and versatility come together.
Beautiful shot of the port of Seattle. They're just a few blocks away from that. Russell Martin takes the first pitch strike. Martin was called out on strikes back in the second. Gonzalez, I wouldn't call him a strikeout pitcher. He has 7 strikeouts. His season high is 8. He had back-to-back 8 strikeout games early in the season. against the Astros and in Chicago against the White Sox.
Yeah, he's not what you would consider a flamethrowing strikeout type of pitcher, but when he has all of his pitches working, and right now it looks like all of his pitches are working, inside, outside, up and down. Another thing that Stoudemire was talking about, hey, who are you as a pitcher? Are you an up and down guy? Are you a back and forth guy? Are you an inside outside guy? Tonight he's got them all working.
His career high in strikeouts is 9. That happened while pitching for the Cardinals. That was way back in 2014 in Colorado. That looked like a pretty good pitch. You can see Gonzalez thought it was strike 3. He was ready to walk off the mound.
He started to walk off the mound. He crossed up Russell Martin. That was a fastball. He thought was right at the knees, but Russell with that great eye takes it for ball 3.
Fly ball deep to left field. Get up, ball. Get up, ball. Get out of here. God. Stay hot, Russell. His 3rd home run on the road trip.
Marco Gonzalez thought he had Russell Martin struck out. Took a couple of steps thinking that they were going to throw the ball around, but he has to gather himself up and come back and make a good pitch, but Russell was waiting for him.
Russell's 3rd home run on the road trip. He now has 5 extra base hits. Russell is 7 for 14. Aledmus Diaz goes after the first pitch, and it's a high fly ball to center. Maben comes in and makes the catch.
Here's what I'm talking about. The previous pitch, it was a 2-2 pitch. Fastball, he's going to cross him up, and he thinks he's got strike 3. Starts walking up. Oop, now he's got to get the ball back, regather, and come back with a better pitch, and it's right down Broadway. From strike 3 to home run number 3 on the road trip for Russell Martin, and he knew he got it.
Gonzalez, in 4 starts in July, had surrendered just 4 extra base hits, 2 doubles, 2 home runs. Ground ball to the hole is short. Drury is thrown out by Segura, but the Blue Jays get another run. It's a 2-0 Blue Jays lead. Russell Martin continues to swing a red-hot bat on this road trip. Martin in his 2nd at bat with 1 out. Takes a fastball deep to left field. Home run number 9. 2-0 Blue Jays.
And despite allowing just 2 earned or less in 5 of his 6 starts. Now, the offense certainly hasn't helped, offering up an average of just over 2 runs of support per game. But a silver lining in all of this, with a depleted and overworked bullpen, Borucki has been able to log innings for the Jays. It's a small sample size, but Borucki has logged in the most innings pitched per at just under 6. More than former teammate Jay Happ, more than Stroman, Sanchez, Estrada, and Gaviglio. Borucki hoping to continue in his idol's footsteps. We all remember the dependable Mark Burley. He had 14 straight seasons of 200-plus innings pitched. Buck, Borucki is exactly what the team needs right now. He needs to get deep into ball games.
Well, he sure does, and he has consistently, as you pointed out, Hazel. He's been a real pleasant surprise for the Blue Jays. This is his 7th big league start. right now he's working with a 2-0 lead.
He's had one bad start. There was that start in Boston right around the All-Star break when he only threw 3 innings. Everything else has been quality and deep.
Well, Borucki gets deep in the kitchen of Segura. Segura flied out to left field his first time up. He is now over his last 11. He bounced that ball. Russell Martin with his 3rd home run of the road trip. It's his 64th home run as a Blue Jay. And that moves him into 2nd place all time for home runs by a Blue Jay catcher. Only Ernie Witt has hit more home runs as a catcher than Russell Martin. Fly ball to left. Teoscar Hernandez moving toward the line makes the catch. Segura is 0 for 2. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. The Philadelphia Phillies have really played well at home this year, and that's where they are right now as they beat the Marlins 5-1. The Phillies now are 36-18 at home. Broken bat, 1 hopper to the shortstop off the bat of Mitch Haniger, and that ball goes into the seats. Diaz had plenty of time. He just airmailed Smoke over at first, and that'll be his 7th error of the season. Routine ground ball.
Well, one of the things that Luis Rivera is trying to get him to do is get rid of the ball a little bit sooner. You can see how many crow hops he took. That's when you basically 1, 2, 3. Look at that extended amount of crow hops. And he airmails it over Smoke's head.
It's hard to throw it over Justin Smoke's head. He's a big guy, big target over at first. But Haniger's at 2nd now for Nelson Cruz. Well, you get a chance to retire the guy ahead of Cruz. You want to take advantage of it. He is a Blue Jays killer. 82 RBIs in 88 games against the Jays.
88 games, 329 at bats, and 99 hits.
Cruz hurt himself on that swing.
Oh my goodness.
He sure did.
Something happened there.
Yeah, it looked like his left wrist. He took an awkward swing and then felt like dropping the bat. You can see him still moving that left hand, trying to get the feeling back in that wrist. He took an awkward swing.
Took a big swing on that first pitch. He ends up fouling it back. Maybe it's on the follow through, the finish. And he felt something.
Didn't look like anything hurt on that swing. It's the old setup.
Yeah. Been known to do that before.
Oh, my hand is killing me. I don't think I can get the bat around.
Yeah, so let's throw him a fastball inside, right?
0-2. Borucki's got just enough fastball to keep hitters honest. Plus the fact that he hides the baseball very well. He tucks that front shoulder, and it's difficult to pick up that release point.
That's something that they worked on in the minor leagues, where he gets ready in his windup or his stretch. When he lifts his front leg, watch where his hands go. They go behind his hip to hide the baseball for as long as possible. Right there.
Just inside, it's 2-2. Mitch Haniger's at second. He reached on the air and then went to second when the ball went out of play into the seats. Cruz gets a piece of that off-speed pitch. Another good pitch, had Cruz off balance. Was able just to foul it off to stay alive.
Remember last time up, they threw that fastball right in on his hands and they jammed him. He hit a weak ground ball to shortstop.
Gets jammed again, and that's a foul ball. Borucki, we mentioned he throws nothing but two-seam fastballs. And generally, when you throw two-seam fastballs, you pitch down. But he can elevate his two-seam fastball very effectively. He said he hasn't really gotten comfortable throwing a four-seam fastball. He said, even when I was a position player, I didn't throw a four-seam fastball.
I bet you he learns, and I bet you he picks it up quickly. Just to change the eye level of those hitters.
Cruz hits a high fly ball. Pilar, center fielder, calls for it. He's setting up for the throw, but Haniger will stay at second. Cruz is 0 for 2.
He's still holding that left hand. You can see him trying to squeeze and take some of the pain out of there. That would be a major blow to his team if they lost Cruz.
They don't have Robinson Cano until August 14th, serving that 80-game suspension for a failed drug test, and Cruz going downstairs.
He spent some time on the disabled list earlier this year where he hit a home run, came walking back into the dugout, tripped down the steps, twisted his ankle.
Kyle Seager, we mentioned earlier, Seager is the second in the majors at driving in runs against left-handed pitchers. Only Nolan Arenado has driven in more against lefty pitching. Seager has 30 RBIs against lefties, and he already has a double against Borucki tonight.
Got to back him off the plate. Blue Jays are in the shift. There are the numbers from StatCast. StatCast AI is powered by AWS. Evan Travis in short right field. Got to knock anything down on the ground and keep it on the infield.
Right through the shortstop hole as Haniger is going to come in to score. And I was thinking, man, I wouldn't do that against the lefty pitcher. Seager is such a good RBI guy. He now has driven in 31 runs against lefty pitching, and he has cut the Blue Jays lead in half. He saw that big hole over at short and said, you know what, I'll take that, Ribby.
Yeah, and if you're going to play him in the shift, throw him slow stuff so he can pull it into the shift. If you throw him the fastball away like that, that's normally just a ground ball right to the shortstop. He says thank you very much, and that cuts into the Blue Jay lead.
2-1 ball game. Ryan Healy, the first baseman, grounded out to second in the second inning. Kyle Seager has both of the Mariner hits. He doubled in the second. He has an RBI single here in the fourth. Mitch Haniger, who reached on the air by Aledmys Diaz, comes in to score. Two and 0.
Be careful now. Healy has got some power. And he's looking for anything out over the plate right now.
Here's another problem I have with those dramatic shifts. This is the first time the Mariners have seen Borucki. How do you know where he's going to hit it?
That might be against other left-handed pitchers or other pitchers that might say that he pulls. That's a good point.
Popped up on the infield. Diaz calls for it. Healy's retired on the pop-out. Kyle Seager has cut the lead in half. Another RBI for Seager against the lefties. Time now for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker in the Samsung broadcast studio.
The best tennis players in the world converge on Toronto and Montreal. The Rogers Cup, presented by National Bank, begins Monday right here on Sportsnet. Bucket.
Thank you very much, Hazel. As you see the Rogers Cup, and it's always great to see that great tennis event here on Sportsnet. The Blue Jay fans, they are out in droves. It's a perfect night for baseball. Hardly a cloud in the sky here in Seattle. Kevin Pilar goes after the first pitch, and it's a fly ball to right. Henniger is there. One pitch, one out here in the fifth.
Blue Jays are facing left-handed pitching tonight and tomorrow. So Gibby was saying earlier today, it's great to see Pilar is healthy enough, and he said, let's get him back in the lineup right now against these lefties. Let's don't waste the opportunity against left-handed pitching.
A big Maple will pitch tomorrow for Seattle. James Paxton. He is 9-4. He'll go up against Marco Estrada, who's 4-8. Of course, Paxton threw the no-hitter against the Blue Jays back at Rogers Center back in May. Paxton and Gonzalez, they have become a pretty good tandem, and Paxton's been a real good sounding board for Marco Gonzalez. Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, said, you know, I can talk to these guys till I'm blue in the face, but when it comes from one of their peers, that's when it has the most impact.
And Paxton's been the leader of a lot of these pitchers, these young pitchers. They'll go out and they'll talk about, they might even say the same thing that Mel Stottlemyre is saying. But when it comes from a teammate, somehow it just registers and sticks sometimes.
Paxton is still a young pitcher in his own right. Although he's 29, he's young in innings and experience. He's made 95 starts. Ground ball, nice play by Seager, but he can't come up with it. That'll be another hit for Grichuk. Have a night, Randall. He's 3 for 3 already.
He had that ball down the right field line. Didn't hit it all that well, and tapped the ball up the third base line. Infield hit, and now Seager saves this double by knocking it down, but when he goes to throw it, he drops it. That'll be another infield hit for Grichuk.
Seager really frustrated. The former Gold Glove winner has had a tough series so far. And there's a deep drive to left. Get out of here, ball. Get up and gone. Nevin Travis. His 7th home run of the season.
What was he saying earlier? That if Grichuk swings early in the count, I'm going to swing early in the count. I'm going to have a good feel of what Marco Gonzalez is going to throw me. That's just the 3rd home run in his last 6 starts that he's given up. And it didn't take long. That was a no doubt about it home run.
Kyle Seager had a chance to retire Randall Grichuk, but couldn't make the play. So Grichuk reaches on an infield hit, and Nevin Travis has a 3-ribby game. Top of the order, accounting for 5 of the Blue Jay hits. John Gibbons did a good job of putting this lineup together.
The cutter's been good for him tonight, but that time Devin was waiting for it. Didn't get in far enough, and that's not coming back.
Monk's got a base hit. That'll drop in front of Heredia. 3 hits in a row, all coming with 1 out here in the 5th. 3rd time through the order, Blue Jays have a little different look against Gonzalez, and that's going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound. Well, Stottlemyre Jr. in his 3rd season as the pitching coach for this Mariners team.
That's what they talk about now, don't they? 3rd time through. Can you work your way 3 times through a lineup? Blue Jays have caught something here from Marco Gonzalez 3rd time through.
You can see Stottlemyre talking a little bit more to Zunino, the catcher, than he was to the pitcher.
That's always a pretty thing, isn't it? Nevin Travis with the home run. Devin's 7th of the season.
And we mentioned it in his preparation for this game. Devin said, I want to see all of the hits that Gonzalez has given up since July 1st. I don't want to see anything but the hits. And most of those hits went to the pulled side. Devin Travis has 2 pulled hits tonight, a single and a home run.
There was only 18 of them coming into this game in the whole month.
Ground ball. Gordon will flip to Segura, who takes his time and completes the double play. So Morales bounces into a double play, but the Blue Jays get 2 more runs, their second homer of the ball game. This a 2-run shot off the bat of Devin Travis, his 7th of the season.
Scoreless innings of relief in his Blue Jays debut to earn his first major league victory. And to say the last few days have been a whirlwind of emotions for him is an understatement. Housechild was released by the Astros Sunday, came to an agreement Wednesday with the Jays. He was on his way to Buffalo when his connecting flight was delayed 2 hours at the Denver airport. It was during that delay he received a phone call from Blue Jays player development director Gil Kim, who told Housechild not to get on that connection, grab his bags because there might be an opportunity in Seattle with the big club. Housechild took his physical an hour before game time, signed his contract 30 minutes prior to first pitch. He said, quote, "It's pretty crazy baseball. It kind of feels like a dream based off of my last week." And Buck, his next start is against the Red Sox and Chris Sale. Good luck.
Yeah, he doesn't care who it's against as long as it's in the big leagues. He'd pitch against Cy Young if he had to.
Yeah. You're getting a big league check. Who cares? Good for him. He did a heck of a job, and
yes,
I had a chance to talk to him today, and I was asking him about some of those pitches that he threw to strike out some of those tough batters. He said one of them was a slider, and one of them was his split. Both of them pretty nasty last night.
One of the longest relief outings for a Blue Jay pitcher in franchise history. No runs, 4 hits, 6 innings. He walked about and struck out 5 through 77 pitches. Mike Zunino, the catcher, strikes out. 1 away. We talk about franchise history for relievers. 6 innings, no runs for relievers all time. Roy Lee Jackson, Doyle Alexander, John Cerruti did it twice. The late John Cerruti, David Wells, Todd Stottlemyre, Mel Stottlemyre Jr.'s brother, Chad Jenkins, and last night, Mike Housechild. Pretty impressive. Housechild is here just getting acclimated to his new team, and you come in, and for the catcher, Luke Maile, last night, it was adjustments on the fly.
Yeah.
Bouncing ball, Cameron grounds out.
He was just saying, just happy to be here, just happy to help out. I don't think he's like woken up from what happened yesterday. I mean, that was a beautiful outing for him, his first.
Ryan Borucki's having another good outing tonight. He's got 2 outs here in the 5th. He's pitching with the lead. 4-1 Blue Jays. Guillermo Heredia goes after the first pitch, hits it on the ground. Devin Travis has it, 3 up, 3 down. 6 pitches for the second time in an inning tonight. No problem for Ryan Borucki. trying to refortify their farm system. They've done a pretty good job. When you look at the top farm systems, according to MLBpipeline.com, the Blue Jays have moved all the way up to the 5th spot.
A lot of that is based on how many top 100 players you have, and the Blue Jays have the #1 player ranked in the minor leagues. There he is right there, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but the Blue Jays have 5 right now, top 100 players in all of the minor leagues, and more to come. They have done an outstanding job over the last few years acquiring young talent to put in their farm system. Now they have to develop it, get the good coaching, get the good teaching, get the experience down in the minor leagues, and pretty soon you're going to start to see those players filter into the major leagues.
Teoscar Hernandez takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's 1-1. The top 5 prospects in the Blue Jays system. Vladimir Guerrero, he's the #1 prospect overall. Bo Bichette is ranked #9. Danny Jansen, the catcher, is #73. Nate Pearson, #90. And Anthony Alford is #92. Top 100. Blue Jays have 5 players in the top 100 prospects.
They've signed some good players in the international signing period over the last couple of years. They've had some very strong drafts, especially at the top of the drafts the last couple of years.
Internationally, Eric Pardinho, the young Brazilian, is pitching in the minor leagues in Bluefield. And then, of course, Sean Reed Foley is a pitching prospect that's coming along. Hector Perez, a recent trade acquisition, is going to creep up into the top 100 sooner or later.
It's too bad that Nate Pearson is going to miss this year with that broken arm.
Fly ball off the end of the bat of Hernandez. Maben is there. One away.
Save big at the outdoor living event at Home Hardware, on from July 25th to August 7th. Here's how.
What an evening it is in Seattle. Friday night in Seattle on a perfect night for baseball. A good crowd on hand, and the Blue Jay fans have been entertained as the Jays have a 4-1 lead. Russell Martin went deep his last time up. For Russell, that's his 64th career home run as a Blue Jays catcher. That puts him second all time in franchise history for home runs by a catcher. Ernie Whitt leads that category. And Russell now stands alone at second.
He's had a great road trip offensively for the Jays. So has Aledmys Diaz, the batter on deck. Aledmys has 3 home runs on this road trip, with 2 more to play after tonight.
2-1. Martin takes strike 2. The home run for Russell for his career, home run number 185. So he's got a shot at 200. Breaking ball in the dirt. Full countdown. Aledmys Diaz will bat next. Ground ball. Seager from the outfield grass in time. Martin's retired. 2 down.
Diaz is stepping up. He is 0 for 2. I got a chance to ask him today, hey, you're swinging the bat really well. Is there any secret? He goes, you know, everybody knows I'm a good fastball hitter. So I've been concentrating on trying to hit the ball the other way, staying on that ball away. And if they throw the fastball inside, I've been able to turn on it. I'm not going to let too many fastballs get by me, he said. But if my sights are set up the middle or the other way, I can still react to that fastball and still turn on it. He's done that on this road trip 3 times.
Hits that ball in the air. Already will get over and make the catch. Diaz is retired to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Blue Jays go quietly in the top of the 6th. They have a 4-1 lead here in Seattle. baseball action for you tomorrow. The Yankees and Red Sox will play the third game of their series. It all starts at 4 Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific time. Chase Anderson will make his major league debut as Chase Adams, will make his major league debut for the Yankees. He's just been called up, and he's going to start for New York. The Yankees, they were one hit by Rick Porcello. Porcello had a complete game, one hitter on 86 pitches. That's
2 hours? 2 hours and 15 minutes? Huh?
Well, that's
Yankees, Red Sox?
That's half a game for the Yankees and Red Sox.
Exactly.
And D. Gordon, he is 0 for 2 tonight. Hit into an inning-ending double play his last time.
Talk about something that doesn't happen very often. D. Gordon hitting into a double play. It was hit hard right at the shortstop, and a great turn by Travis.
Just the 7th time Gordon has grounded into a double play. It was a terrific turn by Travis at second. 6-4-3 double play. And Borucki pitching here in the 6th inning has a 4-1 lead. The appeal down to Tim Timmons at third. He said no swing. Borucki has allowed just 2 hits. Both of those hits off the bat of a left-handed hitter, the third baseman Kyle Seager. Gordon is not a power hitter. He has just 1 home run, but Teoscar is really shading him over near the foul line and playing him very shallow. It's just a situation where, especially with 2 strikes, they don't expect him to be able to pull the ball. Look where Pilar is in center as well.
Look how close he is. If he happens, and I'm talking about Gordon, happens to get one on the nose and drive it to right center field with authority, with his speed, there's a chance he could circle the bases.
He got jammed. Diaz with a strong throw. D. Gordon is 0 for 3. Boy, Borucki really got in his kitchen.
Yeah, and it also helped that it hit the side of the mound and ricocheted right toward Diaz. Ledmes looked like he was going to have to reach out and get that ball, but watch it hit the mound, ricochet right to him, so he can come in with one hand and then throw on the run. If he has to reach for that ball and then regather himself, might be a little bit closer at first.
Yeah, his momentum was going directly toward the baseball. He got a lot on the throw. Gene Segura takes a first pitch strike. Ryan Borucki is really in command here tonight. Borucki threw 77 innings in AAA Buffalo. Made 13 starts for the Bisons. He's pitching in the 6th inning. He has now thrown 40 and a third innings in the majors. But his innings, they're really in control. That's going to slice down the right side, and the fan tried to make a catch. Grichuk ran out of room, and it goes down into the corner. That fan in that colorful shirt made a swipe at it, but he whiffed on it.
You get a piece of it, at least. If he reaches out over the field and touches the ball, you got to give the fielder a chance to catch it. He's out over the field. Pilar. Grichuk has already given up on that play.
Breaking ball. Drury from his knees. Does he have time? No. Segura with an infield hit. That snaps an 0 for 12. Nice catch by Drury, but he couldn't get enough on the throw.
The 2018 Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Great shot of a ferry coming back to Seattle from across the way. 1 out. Rich Henniger reached on an air and scored the only Mariner run tonight. That was in the 4th inning. Ledmes Diaz made a throwing error that allowed Henniger to reach and end up at second. Segura with an infield hit. That's just the third hit for the Mariners tonight, and it snaps an 0 for 12 for the Mariners shortstop. Borucki just looks so comfortable and so confident on the mound. He makes you forget that this is his first season and just his 7th big league start.
Yeah, where he is against a pretty decent hitting team like the Mariners. Doing a good job of freezing up Segura over there at first base also. This is the Mariners' first look at Borucki. Not just pitching, but his move over to first base. Can they steal against him? How quick is he towards home?
Borucki that time started his delivery while looking right at Segura and still able to throw a strike. That's unnerving for a base runner. You don't know where he's going.
Yeah, and he's never seen his move over to first base yet.
There's a base hit. Haniger slaps one to right. So back-to-back base hits here with one out in the 6th, and that'll bring up the ever-dangerous Nelson Cruz.
Ball away. Haniger's become a pretty good hitter. He picked up his 100th hit of the season last night. That's 101. Good approach at the plate. Hit the ball the other way.
Coming into this game, Haniger had a .283 average against lefty pitching, so that's why he's hitting 3rd ahead of Nelson Cruz. So Cruz steps in the box representing the tying run. He's 0 for 2 so far. Cruz had a pair of home runs last night. Coming into this game, he had hit 3 home runs in his previous 6 at-bats.
Not real sure on that one. Yeah, back-to-back games where he has hit a home run. 27 multi-home run games now for Cruz. It seems like 25 of them have been against the Blue Jays.
Yes, it does.
He has had some of his best games offensively against Toronto.
Popped up. Smoke will give chase over near the seats, and it is back out of play. I mentioned Cruz has always been tough on the Blue Jays. You look at the at-bats per RBIs against the Blue Jays among active players, and he's the leader of the pack.
Yeah, an RBI every 4 times he comes to the plate. 82 RBIs and 329 at-bats. Got some RBIs out there for him again.
1-2. Inside. He took a shot at that inside quarter and missed. 4-1 Blue Jays. The Mariners are batting in the 6th. Borucki would love to get a ground ball. Blue Jays turn a double play in the 3rd. Full count now.
Couple of high fastballs, one inside, one up. That's when he goes back to that changeup. And Cruz is such a smart hitter. They might be looking for it.
3-2, 1 out. He gets jammed, pops it up, Smoke out into the outfield, and he makes the catch. Cruz 0 for 3 against Borucki, and Ryan really got that ball in on his hands.
I'm going to give an assist to Russell Martin on that one. Russell knows Nelson Cruz like we all do, that he likes that ball away. And I mentioned that he had thrown a couple of fastballs, one in and one up to go to 3-2. Russell's going to call another fastball. I don't think Cruz was waiting for this or looking for it. And watch how he ties him up once again. Just can't extend through. So I'm going to give Russell leading his young pitcher through that at-bat.
That's what he's there for. He gets Borucki to handle the very tough Nelson Cruz. Now here's Kyle Seager. He's 2 for 2 against Borucki. Outside, Martin wanted it but didn't get the call.
Check out the defense now. Remember, Seager had an RBI single to left field his last time up in the shift. Well, the Blue Jays are straightening out that defense now. Shortstop Diaz, that's right where he hit it last time, right where Ledmus is standing now.
Line drive, and Grichuk is right there. Seager has had 3 good at-bats against Borucki. But he lines out, and the Mariners strand a pair of base runners. Will go to the 7th. The Blue Jays have a 4-run lead for Ryan Borucki.
Available at a lower price. For $59.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game. Plus, get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this very special offer.
A lot of real good Blue Jay fans here tonight. That's the Tabler family in attendance. The grandson's having a great trip, isn't he?
Yeah, he's having some trouble getting that that sweater on, but yeah, he's got his Blue Jay gear. He got his Russell Martin autograph today, and he was so excited on a baseball.
That's awesome.
Russell was so good to him.
Brandon Drury leads things off for the Blue Jays here in the 7th. Drury is 0 for 2. Gary 0 for 5 in this series with a walk, looking for his first hit here at Safeco Field. Pops this one up. Drury grew up in Southern Oregon and came here as a kid. Watched the Mariners play a lot in this ballpark, but this is the first series he has played here at Safeco. But he's got a lot of family and friends that made their way here to Washington.
Gotta like what you see from Brandon Drury. Defensively, offensively, he's going to be a home run hitter. He's got some power.
Driven to left. Heredia coming in quickly. He'll get there to make the running catch. 1 away. Boy, Heredia is a nice player to have. He can play center on a regular basis, but boy, you put him on the corners and he's really a very good defender.
Yeah, he got a good jump on that one. Looked like a sure hit for sure for Drury, but he got a good break. 1 down.
Kevin Pilar back in the lineup. First game he has played since the 14th of July when he injured himself in Boston. He goes after the first pitch and hits it on the infield. D. Gordon, the second baseman, catches it. 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th. Marco Gonzalez comes into this game riding a hot streak. He's won 5 straight starts, going all the way back to Kansas City's start. He beat the Royals on June 29th, 8-5. And he is on the hook for the loss as we speak. Trails 4-1. Randall Grichuk's had a good night.
Yes, all those hits tonight for Randall, those line drives that have been caught, tonight they've made up for it. He has well placed a couple of baseballs for his hits 3 times.
This one is bounced foul up the third baseline.
Ball players will never admit it, at least while they're active, that they all even out. You never want to say that to somebody who's hitting the ball well and hitting it hard. Hey, they'll all even out. You'll get a couple of bloops in there.
Oh, no, they won't.
They don't seem like it, right?
Rando with 3 hits. It's the 5th time he's had 3 hits in a game this season. This is a fly ball to right. Haniger moves over, waits for it, and that'll do it. Richards retired. It takes Marco Gonzalez just 7 pitches to retire the side in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Well, there's no doubt about it. The Blue Jay fans are here to support their team, and they're getting their first look at Ryan Borucki, who's making his first career start here at Safeco Field, and it's been another good one. No runs, 4 hits over 6 innings. There's 82 pitches for Borucki.
6 time in 7 starts. He's thrown at least 6 innings in that start. Scattered those 4 hits.
Has just 1 strikeout and hasn't walked a batter. That's pitching. Ryan Healy, the first baseman, is 0 for 2. There's a strike. Borucki turned 24 years old on the 31st of March. He's from Illinois, just north of Chicago. He was a 15th round pick by the Blue Jays in 2012. That's the Marcus Stroman draft. DJ Davis was actually the first pick by the Blue Jays. He was picked 17th overall. Stroman went 22nd in that draft. Borucki signed and pitched just 6 innings in the Gulf Coast League and then had Tommy John surgery. But they knew that there was that possibility when they signed him.
There's another good pitch.
1 away here in the 7th. We talk about that 2012 draft, Marcus Stroman. A first round pick, 22nd overall. Borucki was the 475th pick overall. So you really never know where your big league players are going to come from. Kevin Pilar, of course, a 32nd round pick in his draft year, but Borucki, Anthony Alford was in that draft. Ian Parmley was in that draft.
He was telling me in Chicago, he said, I really didn't throw a whole lot in high school. I was really an outfielder and didn't pitch that much until my senior year. So maybe that's why he fell in the draft. So he He has a virgin arm, an arm that doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on it when he was a youngster.
This is Mike Zunino, the catcher, and he's quickly behind 0-2. Another interesting name in that draft in 2012, John Harris was taken in the 33rd round by the Blue Jays. But then he did not sign, and he stayed back in college and became a first-round pick in 2015.
Of the Blue Jays.
He went to Missouri State, used to be Southwest Missouri State, and he's now making his strides up the ladder in the minor league system. Mike Zunino, the catcher, he struck out his last time up. This is down the left field line. It's a foul ball. Another off-speed pitch and another ball hit off the end of the bat.
Yeah, not a lot of good wood, but there's 2 strikes. It's 0-2. So he's got to be able to get that ball maybe up and away to Zunino. Zunino was his other strikeouts victim tonight. The last time he faced him in the 5th inning.
Zunino's got some power. He's had 13 home runs this season. Had a big home run year last year. Inside and pushes him back off the plate. Zunino hit 25 home runs and drove in 64 runs a year ago. It was 23 degrees at the start of this ball game, and it doesn't get any better than this. If you're going to order a night for baseball, this would be it. I love this ballpark as well. It's perfect.
The sight lines are beautiful. You got the skyline of Seattle in the background. You got the football field right next door. There it is, CenturyLink Field, I believe it's called, for the Seattle Seahawks. It's great venue.
Zunino fouls it back to the backstop. They have one of the great soccer franchises in North America that plays in that same CenturyLink Field across the way.
I was over at the Key Arena today, over by the Space Needle, Seattle Space Needle, where the Seattle Supersonics used to play. They have a game over there tonight. The Seattle Storm are playing from the WNBA.
This is popped up. Straight over home plate. Russell Martin into foul ground. The catcher waits for it and retires Zunino.
Save big at the outdoor living event at Home Hardware, on from July 25th to August 7th. Here's how.
We're at Safeco Field there. A nice hot pretzel as Brian Borucki has 2 outs in the 7th. Another impressive outing. This is his 7th major league start, as we mentioned. And he just keeps throwing strikes.
Yeah, he's closing in on 100 pitches. But he doesn't look like he's getting tired at all.
Ground ball. Tricky hop for Drury. Throws to first. Brian Borucki with 7 innings in the book. 3rd time in his young career he's pitched 7 innings, and he's in line for his first big league win. The 2018 Honda Odyssey with available Honda Vac. It always bats cleanup.
Fifth inning, and the Seattle Mariners had just pulled within 1 run of the Toronto Blue Jays when Devin Travis stepped up to the plate, cutter on the inside part of the plate, and he doesn't miss it. 377 feet later, he's going to circle the bases with tonight's drive of the game, giving the Blue Jays their 4-1 lead. That's where we sit right now.
So Devin Travis, a 3 RBI ball game. He drove in the first run of the game with an RBI single in the first. New pitcher into the ball game is the right-hander Nick Vincent, as Marco Gonzalez leaves, and he is on the hook for the loss.
That would stop that 5-game win streak. Vincent's numbers, ERA approaching 5, but his stuff has been much better than that. He's always around the plate. He's only walked 10 batters in 32 2/3 innings. Got that fastball, natural cutter to it also. And a changeup, but it's basically fastball cutter.
Devin Travis goes after the first pitch. Cameron Maben runs it down into power alley in right center. It's a 4-1 ball game, and Ryan Borucki has pitched 7 great innings, and you can see Pete Walker, John Gibbons looking at the bench for what they have available, looking at their bullpen, seeing who they want to match up against the Mariners as they try to finish out this game.
He will take into account where they are in the lineup. There's Ken Giles, who's now starting to get loose as they're going to turn the lineup over next inning.
Justin Smoke takes one inside for ball 1. Smoke is 1 for 3. Blue Jays have 4 runs on 7 hits. Randall Grichuk has 3 of those 7 hits. Devin Travis has 2 more. Smoke has 1 and Martin has 1. That's it. A couple of home runs in the game. Devin Travis and Russell Martin have both gone deep. Home run number 10 for Martin, number 7 for Travis. 2-0 pitch to Smoke. Ripped, but right at the first baseman. 2 away. You know what's been great about this ball game? Both pitchers have pitched 7 innings, and we haven't had a walk. Beautiful pitching both by Gonzalez and by Borucki. You're not sure if Borucki's coming out, but you saw Giles loosening up.
Both of them have been very impressive. Just throwing strikes. Just making them put the ball in play. See if you can get a result within 3 or maybe 4 pitches.
Morales, he is 0 for 3. Hit into a double play his last time up. Fly ball to left field. There is Heredia, and it's a quick inning for Nick Vincent. 3 up, 3 down. He needs just 6 pitches. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Cliff Floyd in the Samsung broadcast studio. WestJet dollars to over 450 partner destinations around the globe. Join today at westjet.com/rewards. Ryan Borucki, third time in his young career, he's pitched 7 innings. He's going to start the 8th. No runs on 4 hits. And he has been very impressive once again. Number 9 hitter Guillermo Heredia will lead things off, and he takes ball 1.
John Gibbons likes to play the percentages, and we had a shot of him pointing to people on the scorecard and then pointing to the bullpen. From where I sit, it looks like he's going to face these 2 batters, Heredia and then the left-handed hitting Gordon, and the big right-handed hitters he's going to bring in this big new acquisition in the outfield. They're throwing Giles.
Borucki has a season-high 107 pitches. That was back on the 8th of July against the Yankees. 7 innings in that ball game. This next pitch will be 100. Yeah, it's fouled back. Twice in his career he has gone over 100 pitches. This will be the 3rd time now on this next pitch.
And for me, he hasn't lost anything. Still throwing it where he needs to.
Line right to Travis. Longest outing of his young career, now 7 1/3 in the books. Well, what a pleasant surprise Ryan Borucki has been. He has made his way methodically through the minor league system, and here he is pitching in the big leagues in his 7th game.
What did he jump up? 3 levels last year? Did he start in Dunedin last year?
Yeah, he was a pitcher of the year last year in the Blue Jays minor league system.
So at the start of last year, he was an A-ball. And we started hearing about him after he got moved up to Double-A in the middle of this season. Then he made it up to Triple-A. And then you started hearing Ross Atkins talking about pitchers of the future, and he was kept mentioning Ryan Borucki. Ryan Borucki can do this. He's going to start the year in AAA. We'll see what happens. He was right on.
Ryan started last year in Dunedin, and he was promoted to Double-A on July 20th. Made his debut in Double-A at Trenton against the Yankees Double-A team. 7 scoreless innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts his first game in Double-A. D. Gordon checked his swing. 1-2 now. And then from Double-A to Triple-A, Borucki was promoted on August 29th. He made 1 start. That was a Pawtucket. They pitched well in that 1 start, and then he started the season, made 13 starts this year in Triple-A. Gordon gets jammed and hits a little weak grounder to the second baseman. D. Gordon is 0 for 4. Gordon is 0 for 4. Nelson Cruz is 0 for 3. As Borucki has really baffled 2 of the best hitters in this lineup.
Maybe he's going to stick with them. He has handled Segura also. Seattle Mariner hitters have not been able to pick his fastball up tonight. He has gotten that fastball, and again, it's about 92, 93, right in on their hands.
Segura takes one outside. Ryan Borucki has outpitched the 12-game winner, Marco Gonzalez. One and one now. Fly ball to right. Grichuk backing up right at the edge of the warning track, and Borucki 8 strong innings here in Seattle. Looking for his first big league win. He's got a 4-1 lead.
victory lap is the drive home.
Marco Gonzalez, the starter for Seattle, is on the hook for the loss. He came into this game with a 12-5 record. He pitches 7 innings, 83 pitches over those 7 innings. He is charged with all 4 runs on 7 hits. Didn't walk a batter and struck out 7. That's one off his season high. But Ryan Borucki outpitched the 12-game winner.
Yeah, he's in line for the loss. The last time he lost a game was June the 24th at Boston. So the third pitcher of the night for the Seattle Mariners will be Chasen Bradford, just called up. Look at those numbers in 34 games, been up and down a few times this year. Sinker slider, that's what you're going to get from Bradford. He's been around for a while. He has pitched in the big leagues in the past. Bradford, Las Vegas, Binghamton.
Bradford pitched last year in New York with the Mets. He appeared in 28 games with the Mets. He was claimed on waivers by Seattle in January this season. He is the third pitcher to work. Nick Vincent had a clean inning in the 8th. Teoscar Hernandez is 0-for-3 with a couple of strikeouts. The 9th inning. The Blue Jays have a 4-1 lead, trying to make it 2 in a row here in Seattle. Ryan Borucki looks like he's done because they're talking about his game. That's normally what happens after you've been told you're out of the game. So what a outing for Ryan Borucki. There's a fly ball deep to right. Henniger is on the run. It's over his head and off the wall. And he missed it. Hernandez will go around second and head for third. He'll end up at third base with a triple. He had 4 hits and 3 doubles in last night's game. For Hernandez, he picks up the triple, his 7th triple of the season.
Boy, that was a bomb the other way, and that's what we were talking about. He's got some juice in that bat when he connects. Good low ball hitter. He can stay back for a long time and time it up. Bradford, who's had some time with the Mets last year, gives up this pitch away, and he smokes it off the top of the wall, 380 feet away. And when Henniger tries to play it off the wall with his bare hand, Teoscar recognizes that and goes all the way to third base. And now the infield has to come in with Russell Martin at the plate.
Chance to extend the lead. Hernandez now third in the American League with 7 triples. And so Martin takes one outside for ball 1. Blue Jays trying to make it 2 in a row against the Mariners. But the fans are having a heck of a time here. Good take by Martin. It's 2-0. Russell homered in the 4th. That made it a 2-0 game at the time.
He has some of the most controlled at bats. He understands exactly what he wants to do against Bradford. Infield in, get that ball into the outfield.
Ground ball, base hit through the left side. Hernandez comes in to score. Martin with his 2nd hit of the night, and it's a 5-1 Blue Jays lead.
Hitters love to see the infield in. You don't have to hit it especially hard with the infield in. Just get it a couple of feet by him because they're so close. And look at it, nobody on the left side even has a chance on that 3-hopper. 2-3 times into the outfield for an RBI hit.
Hit and run was on, and Diaz fouls it straight back. Martin was off and running at first. Now Russell continues to swing the bat very well. 2 hits tonight. He now has 8 hits on the road trip. including 3 home runs.
Element of surprise is over now. They surprised him with that hit and run, and Ledmus just missed it, fouled it back.
Hit and run again. Another foul out of play. Diaz gets a piece of that breaking ball to stay alive. It's 0-2. Blue Jays now with 5 runs on 9 hits. Seattle just 1 run on 4 hits against Ryan Borucki, and it looks like Borucki might give way to the bullpen. Base hit for Diaz. Russell will stop at second. Ledmus Diaz with his first hit of the night. Want to remind you, we'll be right back here for Game 3 of this 4-game series tomorrow night. James Paxton will start for Seattle. He was the author of that no-hitter back at Rogers Center early in the season. He'll go up against Marco Estrada. It all starts at 9:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Pacific. That's the pregame show with Jamie Kemp. So the Big Maple will start Game 3 tomorrow night.
Even though the Blue Jays lost that game, that was a lot of fun to call that game. Very impressive.
Jason Manfred has given up a triple and 2 singles, yet to record an out. Fly ball deep to center field. Maven's got room. Martin's tagging at second. He'll move up. Diaz will hold at first. That's the first out of the inning. A deep fly ball to center. Kevin Pilar, in his return to the active roster, has gone 0 for 3. Reached on an error in his first at bat in the second. Five-1 Blue Jays. First pitch breaking ball in there for a strike.
That sinker slider. There's Ken Giles getting loose. It looks like he's going to come in a non-save situation.
Giles has not pitched in the big league since the 10th of July. That was his last game with the Astros. Big swing and a miss by Pilar. Giles was here with the ball club yesterday and threw a side session, but just wasn't ready to appear in a game, and he had a chance to throw again prior to this game tonight, and he's going to come in and get some work. There goes the runner. The ball bounces away from Zunino. As Diaz moves into second, it'll be a stolen base for Ledmus, his second of the season.
And that should bring the infield right back in there at double play depth with runners at first and third. They start the runner. And now Pilar can hit. Although he's got 2 strikes, he's got the infield in now.
Foul tip. Checked his swing and foul tipped it off the catcher's mitt. The Blue Jays and the Mariners, they are expansion brethren. They both came into the American League in '77. But the Blue Jays have owned this matchup over the last 15 meetings. They've outpitched them, they have outscored them, and they've outhomered them.
They've outplayed them in the last 15 by a wide margin. And again tonight,
Deep fly ball to center field. Maben back, and he makes the catch. Martin tags from third. He scores. Diaz will stop at third as Kevin Pilar picks up another RBI with a sac fly. That gives him 38.
Really good at bat by Pilar with 2 strikes. I was concentrating on Diaz because Martin was going to score easily. Both runners tagged up, and Diaz played that perfectly. Because it was hit to deep left center field, he was tagging up, trying to score. He gave a great effort to third base.
Randall Grichuk goes after the first pitch. It's going to be a tough play. Grichuk's going to reach, and Diaz comes in to score. Randall Grichuk with his first 4-hit game of the season drives in another run here in the 9th. He hit it in the perfect spot.
That's 4 times he's hit it in a perfect spot tonight, and 4 times he has a base hit. For some reason, Segura just could not get to this ball. It's off the end of the bat, and he is hustling up that line, smelling base hit at RBI.
They were playing him to pull on the infield, and he hit it right back up over the mound. It's his second 4-hit game of his career. His last 4-hit game came last July against the Colorado Rockies in St. Louis.
The Blue Jays have run the bases really well tonight, and they've run really hard. Diaz has had some good efforts on the bases. We've seen Grichuk. Travis has been on the bases. Maybe these fans are firing them up.
Well, I hope so, because they have not run the bases aggressively for quite a while, but it's been a different case here in Seattle. Grichuk has scored a pair of runs. Russell's Martin has scored 2. Randall has 4 hits, as we mentioned, his second career 4-hit game. There's a fly ball into center. Cameron Maben calls for it, and that'll end the inning, but it's a good 9th inning for the Blue Jays. They scored 3 runs on 4 hits. Ken Giles will make his Blue Jays debut. He's coming in to pitch the 9th. For his first big league win. First time he has pitched 8 innings in the major leagues. No runs on 4 hits. No earned runs on 4 hits. He didn't walk a batter and struck out 2. A terrific start for Ryan Borucki, and now he's looking at his first big league win.
Everything that we thought he would be. He had them baffled all night long for 8 innings, and they will turn it over to Ken Giles. 34 games this year with the Houston Astros. Inflated earned run average, but 12 for 12 in save opportunities. No surprise. Everything's got some heat to it. Look at the K rate at the bottom, 24. Fastball slider. That's what you're going to get from the intense Giles.
Giles last pitched on the 27th of July in AAA for the Fresno Grizzlies. He made 6 appearances in AAA, the Houston AAA affiliate. Mitch Haniger, he is 1 for 3, reached on an error and scored a run in the 4th. He scored the Mariners run. There's a strike. Two and one now. Ken Giles is 27 years old. He has got a great arsenal for a closer. Big fastball. He had 34 saves a couple years ago for the Astros. Liner into center. That's going to get down in front of Kevin Pilar. A leadoff single here in the bottom of the ninth. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Nicky and Faisal. Thank you very much, Nicky. That's all coming up right after this ball game, so make sure you stay tuned. Ryan Borucki, a great outing. He threw 17 of 29 first pitch strikes.
I'll take that. And then expanded from there.
Nelson Cruz has had a rough night. Borucki held him to an 0 for 3. And he goes after that first pitch from Giles. Upstairs, ball on the strike. When the Blue Jays acquired Giles in that trade, he was in AAA. He went back to Houston to pack up his belongings, and he had a couple of busy days. He is from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He was drafted by the Phillies in the 7th round, 2011. There's a hard slider.
86 miles an hour on that slider. That last fastball, the pitch before that was 98. That's easy, loose.
Giles was traded from Philadelphia to Houston on December 12, 2015. He had 34 saves for the Astros last season, 64 appearances. His career ERA coming into this game, 2.72. 2-2 pitch, bounced foul by Cruz. From the scouts that I have talked to that have seen Giles throw this year, they say he's using his slider with much more confidence, throwing it for a lot more strikes, and he's got that fastball, a little touch 100. There's a slider and it jammed Cruz. It's a hard pitch, 86, 87, 88 miles an hour.
Yeah, that one was 87. You like to see the difference in miles per hour, about 10 miles an hour. He's got that because he can get there at 97 or 98.
Upstairs, full count. Haniger's at first. He had the leadoff single. Again, John Gibbons going back to look at the Mariners lineup and see where they're at, what they have on their bench. He went around. Cruz strikes up. One away.
Not afraid to throw that slider to a very dangerous hitter, Nelson Cruz. 3-2. He wasn't going to sit all over my fastball. He throws the slider and he gets the call.
But that is a tight, late-breaking slider. Looks like a fastball coming out of Giles' hand.
Yeah, just couldn't check his swing.
Kyle Seager's had 3 real good trips to the plate tonight. He doubled in the second, drove in a run with a single in the fourth, and lined out sharply to right in the sixth. He went around.
They faced each other a lot when Giles was with Houston in the same division, so they've matched up a lot. Kyle Seager still hasn't been able to figure him out.
Seager's 0 for 7 against Giles. Now the infield is going to flip-flop. Diaz goes back to straightaway shortstop as the third baseman Drury moves to the second base position. Travis is in the hole between Smoke and Drury. 1-1. That's a tough pitch. Good slider. And that's a report that we got on Giles, that slider has really improved and he's really throwing a lot of strikes with it.
And not afraid to use it. Seager looks like he was ready to hit that fastball and he was out in front on the breaking ball.
Russell Martin, of course, getting his first opportunity to work with Ken Giles and probably kind of doing a little bit of a surveying job himself, saying, okay, let me see what that slider looks like. I know he's got a good fastball. He's a 2-pitch pitcher, but that's all you need as a closer.
Yeah, as a closer, and when you throw that hard, that's all you need.
Seager strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts. He gets Cruz, and now he gets Seager. So Giles out away from finishing up this ball game.
Kyle Seager's had some good at-bats tonight, though. He's going to face Giles, and he's now 0 for 8 on another hard breaking ball. The impressive part about that pitch is the location, where it was.
Ryan Healy, the first baseman. The last hope for the Mariners. Haniger will take off for second, and there's a strike. Now that's a tip-off right there. That is a Canadian, because that's a goalie glove and not a baseball glove. No stolen base for Haniger. Defensive indifference as he moves into second. Blue Jays were playing back, and Healy waves at that slider. You know what his slider reminds me of? Juan Guzman's slider. Goes straight down.
Straight down. Like a curveball. Fans are into it now.
The new sheriff in town, Ken Giles. There's a base hit over the shortstop, and Haniger's going to come in to score. A 2-out single for Zunino. Check that, Healy. A 2-out single for Healy as he's able to get to that high pitch. Brian Healy picks up his 55th RBI, and that will bring Zunino to the plate.
Well, they might try a fastball, but that's going to the breaking ball 3 straight times. He missed his spot that time, and a good hitter. Not going to miss that.
This is Zunino, Mike Zunino, the catcher. Again, the Blue Jays will concede the base as Healy goes into second. Jake Petrichka loosening up. Giles has thrown 21 pitches, so they don't want to overextend him in his first appearance. Late on that fastball, and it was a good one.
97. And now you can throw that breaking ball.
That's the ball game. Ken Giles in his first inning for the Blue Jays strikes out 3, gives up a run. But how about Ryan Borucki picking up his first big league win in his first start here in Seattle? 8 great innings for Borucki.
Masterful. There wasn't a whole lot of hard contact against him. Blue Jays had a couple of errors, but then he pitched around, picked up his teammates when he needed to, made the pitches when he had to, held him to just 1 run. It was unearned, and he gets his first big league win. I hope he gets the baseball tonight.
What a job by Borucki. Picks up his first big league win in his 7th major league start. Ken Giles with his first inning. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central with Nikki and Faisal.